vinyl community and anyone else who may be watching this. Today I thought I would make a video on ephemera and spoken word records and all that kind of stuff. Records that weren't really meant to be saved. Records that weren't meant to last. Records that a lot of people out there in the vinyl community probably don't collect. But I have a few. I don't have a whole lot, and there's a few categories and genres of those. And I thought that today I might talk a little about those. First, I want to give shout outs to my subscribers. I'm up to 26 as of the making of this, which isn't a huge number, but it's grown already past where I thought it would. And a few of you I just want to do a shout out by name. Robert Z, thank you for subscribing to me. Wow, I'm honored. And the same goes with Mr. Mayo. Thank you, Joe. Wow. When I saw that, I went, whoa, I'm getting some subscribers here. This is awesome. And Penix, and of course, good old Dean, Retro 2, as always, and Mr. Eli, and I know Obi Banks, I think. That's close. You're there. There's a bunch of you. Sean, thank you all for subscribing and watching my videos. It means the world to me. Okay, ephemera. Ephemera, again, is just records that aren't meant to last. Not only records, films. I collect films, too, of the same sort of thing. It's just interesting, I find, that, you know, this stuff that was meant to be watched and thrown away, some of it has survived in an awfully long time. So, thought I'd make a video of it. And I'll start with this one. Everybody's seen this. Almost everybody probably has had one, or their mother or father did. John F. Kennedy Memorial Album. My mother gave this to me, as probably a lot of people's mothers gave it to them. And this is the sort of thing I'm talking about. I gotta find a place to put my record. There we go. Here's another one everybody was buying in the 80s, television's greatest hits. I count this, it's music, most of them are spoken words, but it's 30 to 60 second TV themes, a lot of them even re-recorded. So, there you go, television's greatest hits. That's ephemera in my book. This is something I picked up at a thrift store. A lot of these I did. America the Beautiful. Now this one is all music, but it's not music by anybody. It's just patriotic themes done by someone. And I thought there'd even be spoken words on it, but there's not. So America the Beautiful was in nice shape. It was 29 cents. An introduction to quadraphonic music on Columbia Records. There is a lot of music on here, but there's also a lot of talking. So that puts it in the ephemera category as far as I'm concerned. And it's quad. So that's cool. Remember the golden age of radio, this kind of stuff. This doesn't even have whole radio shows on it, just little snippets of stuff. And it's narrated by Jack Benny. It's got the Lone Ranger, and what else is on here? Terry and the Pirates, the Gangbusters, the Shadow, there's some inaugural addresses, that sort of stuff. And speaking of radio, this might not qualify as ephemera really, but it was a 3 or 4 minute shows for a radio program. Chicken Man. I play Chicken Man on my podcast. However, I don't use this record. I use actual episodes. But, so, by the way, I do a podcast. It's right here, the Snap, Crackle, and Pop Vinyl Hour. snapcracklepop.podomatic.com. Check it out. Anyway, Chicken Man. I love this. This is actually a really good record, and if you find this, pick it up. It's cool. I don't even know if I have these in order. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Originally a radio program, they decided to press it on a record. It's only like half the show, and there's 2 volumes. This one is a double 2-record set with a gatefold with stuff in it. And this one's got the famous duck on the cover. And it is the radio show. It's the original BBC radio program is what that is. Now we get to radio itself. I only have one of the 2 records in this. There's supposed to be 2 records in here. Wolfman Jack used to do a radio program for the people overseas. The United States Air Force presents Wolfman Jack. This one's got Ringo Starr on it. It's even got the Beatles on it. Joe Walsh. It's in a little box. There's the back. But again, it's only got one of the 2 records. Billy Pearl for Today's Army. Again, more Army records for overseas. And this has Ringo on it as well. And Paul or George, one of the 2, or maybe it's even Lennon. There's 2 Beatles on here because that's originally why I bought it, 100 years ago. That kind of stuff. We're still not to the real ephemera yet, but we're getting there. The guard scene. They threw this in at the record store I go to for kicks. I was going to buy it anyway, but this again was a National Guard record to be played for National Guardsmen, I guess, on the road. And it's got 4 little different radio shows on it with different guests. James Brown is on this record. Actually, James Brown. I mean, not just his music, James Brown. He's the coolest one on there. So that's kind of cool. Getting into spoken word now. Edwin R. Murrow. I Can Hear It Now. Of course, the late 40s, early 50s radio guy. And this is some of his best appearances, I guess. Haven't actually listened to that. This I just picked up at a record store not very long ago, or a thrift store. The Beginning of a President, Orson Welles. It's an Orson Welles spoken word record. I certainly count as ephemera. Media Arts records. And now we get into a popular category, which many of you probably collect. Stereo test records. This one is by Bang & Olufsen, and it's probably a late 70s or early 80s record. It's got a cool gatefold kind of thing going on there. And I love test records. They're one of my favorite categories. Stereo spectacular, demonstration, and sound effects. I don't know why we collect these things, but we do. And it's on Audio Fidelity records. Of course, a lot of these will give you kind of technical information and stuff like that in the back. Oh, Webcore records. I didn't even... So big I didn't even see it. Hearing is believing. I like that little guy. And this record company is so small I can't even... It's Radio Corporation. It's an RCA record. Again, I missed it. An RCA test record. And they're trying to sell you some stereos and stuff on the back, as well as giving you technical information and that kind of thing. This is one of the coolest ones I have. Sensational Stereo Spectacular Demonstration Album. It's on Tops Records, which is like one of those fly-by-night record labels. But there's something very, very cool about this record. And I'll have to get it out to show it to you. And that is, it is very old and very, very yellow. It is pressed on yellow vinyl. And it's really cool. And I really like it a lot. It didn't come in a sleeve originally. And in fact, there is a hole in the cover where you're supposed to see the record through it. But I kind of want it in the sleeve. So I'm not going to do that. And I've got 2 more test records here that actually keep framed on my living room wall. So these are framed. I won't be able to show you the back. This one is a hi-fi test record. And that's about all it says. But what a cool cover that is. That's just awesome. That's one of my framed ones. And I also have a Lafayette hi-fi test record. And it's just a really cool cover. And I have 7 albums framed in my living room. None of them are rock. They're all this kind of interesting stuff. And I just think they're cool. Moving on. Vintage sports cars in stereo on Riverside Records. We've got a Dodge, a Maserati, a Bugatti, an Alfa Romeo, and then there's a race on the side too. Again, technical information, how you should set your speakers up, all that kind of thing on there. This is a pretty cool record. Broadside Ballads, Volume 1. This was a broadside. Came out in New York City. It's the very first one they ever did. And the really interesting thing about it, besides the fact that the broadside that it came with is in here. I'm going to have to take it out of the plastic, I think. Hang on. Not sure how this opens. Opens this way. Alright. It comes with the actual broadside that was in there, including music on some of it. And there's 2 Bob Dylan songs on here as Blind Boy Grunt, because he'd already signed to Columbia and he couldn't be on this as Bob Dylan. But Joe Brown by Blind Boy Grunt, and there's another one, Only a Hobo and Talking Devil. They're both the same song, goes into the same song. Anyhow, you can see those, but there you go. So this is pretty cool, and again, it was a magazine, not meant to last. So it's definitely ephemera, even though there is music on it. This is pretty cool. It came without a cover, just in a white thing like that. It probably never had one. But it's the Chevrolet dealer commercials for 1978. And all it is snippets of music. And it probably did come with a booklet that told you what to say. And you had your own radio announcers over the music for the Chevrolet commercials, which is sort of an interesting thing. Now we get to sort of language records. Here we learn how to speak German from Cambridge Records. Back cover is basically the same as the front cover. And there's not even a whole lot inside. But it is a 2-record set. I've never even really looked at the labels on these. Oh, the labels are kind of cool. And in case you don't want to learn German, you can learn French instead. And you've got basically the same thing. It's volumes 1 and volume 2, I guess. I'm learning from this one. And again, you've got one side with some stuff and one blank side. See if the labels are the same. Yep, pretty much the same label going on there. Interesting, I think. All of this kind of stuff is interesting. It's nothing you play. Here we go. We get into slightly the realm of religion here. Love, Marriage, and God by Dr. Lewis H. Evans. I just saw this and went, okay, that's got to be interesting. And I'm assuming that that's Mr. Evans. So this must be Leon Arnaud, whoever he is. I've never really looked at this one either. It's on Word. Word Records. That's kind of cool. And I saw this and I just went, what the heck is this? Wendy Bagwell. This, that, and the other. This, you can tell because it's on Canaan Records, is a religious comedy album. No, I have not played it yet. I'm almost afraid to play this. I'm almost afraid to know what religious comedy is. But it even has its own inner sleeve from Canaan Records, which is kind of cool. All the other records you can get on Canaan. And there's the Canaan record label. I just think stuff like this is just really weird and incredible. That, I mean, there are religious, and the sleeve opens upside down too, which is very rare. Huh? And I'm not going to really get it back in there. Come on. Okay. Now we get to the ones I think are pretty cool. Language usage skills. This would have been for a classroom or something like this. And I forget the guy's name, but he's kind of a famous guy. Bob McFadden. You'd know his voice if you heard it. He's kind of a famous guy. And my Dean Martin record got over. Sorry about that. And in fact, let me flip it really quick. Hang on. I'm using a really not very good turntable because I still haven't got my D turntable working yet. Anybody knows anything about turntables? This one sounds very scratchy. It's the turntable, it's not the record. Speak well. Off the Record, a self-teaching guide for better speech by Paul Mills. There's 12 participation exercises. This is a single. And here you can see all the little cartoon things on it. There's a booklet that's attached inside that I guess you follow along to. It's quite a large booklet. And it's on a Columbia. It's got a Columbia sleeve inside. It is a Columbia album. I didn't notice that. And wow, I didn't know this either. It's even cooler now because it's on the Columbia 6i label. Wow, that's awesome. I'm very happy about that. I should look more carefully at some of these things. This is cool, and I have played this on my podcast. ACT Clears by Jepson. This is for pilots and air traffic controllers to learn all the little codes and things that you need to be a pilot and not pilot and not kill anybody. So this is a cool record. This is a really cool record actually. And I got two left here. How to communicate your ideas. What a cool cover that is. Now we're truly into ephemera because this is the kind of stuff that was meant to be listened to once or twice and gotten rid of, you know, just for bosses, just for advertising people, just for whoever. And finally, this is a really cool record, and it's on CBS too. That Agency Thing. This is a one-sided record. It's meant to be played for ad executives and stuff, and it's about why you should advertise on radio. And there's the back cover. And I've actually played this. I actually put a little of it on a future podcast. And you see there's a blank side of a record right there. Nothing on that. And I recognize at least one of the voices on here from Stan Freberg Records. They're pretty famous people that did it, and it's actually really, really funny. And I found this at a thrift store for 3 for $1. No, actually, strike that. 10 for $4, so 40 cents. And it's mint, and it's really, really cool. Well, that does it for my ephemera that I could find anyway. It's sort of scattered, and I probably have more. But I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think. Let me know if you collect ephemera or if you just think I'm nuts. Again, thanks for watching, and thanks to all my subscribers. I appreciate it more than you know. And please check out my podcast, and I'll talk to you later. Subscribe if you want, and hit the like button too. I'll catch you next time. Bye.